Glad to have you with us. I'm Kevin, and this is Bill Perfita. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, including amidst COVID-19, how do we make sure that people less fortunate than ourselves have a very happy and a well-fed Christmas?
Yeah, again, traditionally, everybody worries about Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day when it comes to feeding people. But you know what? You got this continuum between Thanksgiving and January.
Well, let's face it, if you don't know where your next meal's coming from, it's an ongoing need. But especially at the holidays, we want to make sure it's taken care of. We're going to talk with Mike Manning again. He is our friend. He is in charge of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. And the food bank is doing everything they can to help meet the need throughout the holiday season and always. But as always, they could use some help.
So we will talk about that. I want this right at the top of the show. May have to do it twice.
Do it.
One of our favorites. She did Weather for Us in the mornings at Talk 107.3. Mm-hmm. She is a big part of this community. Diane Deaton, after 37 years at WAFB TV, has announced that she will retire.
That's a shame.
Her retirement is effective on Friday, December 18th.
So a week from Friday.
Yeah.
That morning show is just not going to be the same without Diane. I mean,
yeah.
At least they'll still have Johnny and they'll still have Matt, but Diane was like, she was the grande dame. She was the heart, the soul of that morning
know
show.
what the cast and crew all called her, and they did this affectionately. It wasn't meant to be a slam.
What?
They called her Queen D.
Queen D.
Yes.
I like it.
But she started as a general assignment reporter on April 18th, 1983. And of course, my favorite, can't use the English language properly, Michael with a K, Vincent, misspelled Ronald Reagan's name.
Really?
In the opening of this. Yeah, he's a dumbass. But we digress.
By the way, presumably his mother picked the spelling of his name, so you can't really blame him for that.
He's an adult, right?
Go to court, fix it.
He can walk to city court from Channel 9 and get there from City 9, pay us $25 and get a real damn name.
Stop it. But I got to tell you, of all the personalities on television,
R-A-E-G-A-N, Reagan. That's even the wrong letters in a row for a misspelling. What a moron.
I actually know a female named Reagan who spells it, hey Reagan, she spells her name that way, R-A-E-G.
Well, her mother's a moron too.
Well, so she could be called Ray. But let's get back to Diane. I moved here in 1990 and 91, kind of the period, the end of one year and the beginning of the next. The TV personality I took to the quickest after watching New Orleans television personalities for so long was Diane Deaton. Because Diane seemed to be the most real, the most genuine, the most, you always felt like the Diane that you were going to meet on the street was going to be the same Diane you watched on television. And that, by the way, is very true.
Well, we talked yesterday about Pam Bordelon retiring from The Advocate.
Yep, another champ, wonderful person.
If you went to community events, if you went to a charitable fundraiser, if you went to something where you had to get all dressed up and you didn't see both of them there, it was because one of them was sick. Mm-hmm. And Diane was doing this, getting up at 3 in the morning.
Yes.
You and I used to get up real early, but we don't have to put on makeup and all that other good stuff.
We didn't have to be that concerned with our appearance.
Yeah, we were on radio.
At least until those damn internet cameras came along.
And Diane did our weather for all these years. And Diane is just an absolute joy. She was a general assignment reporter when she started, like most. She quickly became the anchor of the noon and the 5 p.m. newscast. Mm-hmm. For a while, she co-anchored with her husband,
Vernon Roger.
The late Vernon Roger. And then she moved to the morning show, and she's been there forever and a day. And that morning show was getting its butt kicked by TuneIn until Diane came along.
Yep.
And they really gave them a horse race all these many years. It's always been neck and neck with Channel 9's morning show and Channel 2's morning show. And a lot of that is because of Diane.
You know, people that know Diane and everybody that knows her loves her. The one thing that I wasn't prepared for when I first met Diane Deaton face to face is how incredibly tiny she is. You just don't get that impression on television because it's just her on the screen most of the time. Diane is just this teeny tiny little woman, and she's just adorable. And she and I did we did it was the Cruel Mutts. Is it Cruel Mutts or is it something else up here in Baton Rouge? I've got the dog parade.
Yeah, it's
Barkus down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Barkus down in New Orleans.
And
Cruel Mutts up here. And we co-emceed the Cruel Mutts, and we spent a great deal of time together that day, and we just had a wonderful time. And she is just a terrific person. And I hope she's not retired. Is she just going to read books, hang around the house, drink tea?
No, she's not fully retiring. But I will tell you a story that is not known to many people. Many, many years ago, when she first got to Channel 9, there was somebody who was trying to fix me up on a blind date. And this somebody was trying to fix her up on a blind date. And we both got wind of who it was. And so we planned to both tell this person on the same day, no, no. We had a big, big laugh over that. But
thank you, Clarence.
oh man, I'm still here. I can hear you.
This is why we need a mic on Clarence while we're doing our show.
You. He said, boy, she lucked out. I don't know. She ended up with Vernon. I don't know.
Well, I always knew that Diane would eventually want to step down from the television screen, but I wasn't ever looking forward to that day. And Diane, you will be sorely missed.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Sorely missed.
And Diane, I hope after the 18th, you will come and share some of your memories of 37 years at Channel 9. And we'll tell you what we used to always say with the mics were closed when we knew your forecast was coming. We always said hello to you in the morning, Diane. You just
Always.
never heard it.
That's right.
Because we were chuckling and we would find festive ways to say hello to you.
Indeed. It was part of the fun of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But Diane Deaton stepping down after 37 years on WAFB Channel 9. One of the greats.
What a shame.
We're going to take a break, take care of some business. And when we return, well, we got more stuff going on in the news. Are you ready for the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine? One American has taken it. She details some of her side effects. We'll share them with you in just a moment.
And also, the right stuff, no more, one more time.
Be right back.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves
back with Exiles TV. Welcome into the. Today is the 8th of December, and in case we didn't mention the anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor yesterday, but today is the date in history, 79 years ago today, that President Roosevelt addressed the nation declaring war on the Japanese. Mm-hmm. And as I think it was Emperor Yamato, or was it Yamamoto?
Well,
he said, "I fear we have awakened a sleeping giant."
It was the admiral, yes. "I fear we have done nothing more than awaken a sleeping giant and filled him with a great resolve."
A great resolve.
Which is the most important part.
Mm-hmm. Up until that point, even as the World War II was just tearing Europe apart, America was doing its best to remain out of World War II. This, of course, threw us into both theaters of war fully. The COVID virus started to go around. We've been told by Senator Bill Cassidy, who is plugged into the medical community pretty well.
Pretty well, yeah.
That COVID dosages are going to be making their way here to Baton Rouge and Louisiana before long. I mentioned Louisiana with the T's, and I was incorrect. This is nearby Tennessee, though. We got a woman named Amy Brown, a Nashville, Tennessee resident, who is describing the effects of the Pfizer double shot, keep it cold.
Double shot of my baby's love vaccine?
There you go. It is a 2-shot process, and this is their vaccine has to be kept under extreme cold conditions, which is a little weird. But she's saying that she hasn't grown an 11th toe. She's still alive and kicking. She says there is a lot of pain on the site where the injections go
Which
in.
they told us was going to happen.
They say they are intramuscular injections, and it's a big needle. It goes into the muscle of the arm. She says it was really sore for the first shot, not as bad for the second shot. Now, as far as other side effects, for about 24 hours after the process, she said she felt loopy. Amy's words: "I didn't feel good, I just felt loopy. I didn't have any trouble getting out of bed, I didn't run a fever or anything, I just didn't feel good." But she said after that, after about 24 hours, that passed, and she's been relatively free of side effects.
I had that after the super duper flu shot they give old guys. Mm-hmm. Again, very sore arm, and the next day I felt kind of goofy. Not terrible, but not 100%, and then it went away.
Well, this gives hope. A lot of people, of course, Bill, are paranoid because they feel like COVID is a big conspiracy. Not the disease itself, but the reaction to it, the policies set up around it have all been some kind of an exercise in control by the powers that be. And there are people that are the anti-vaxxer crowd especially is not going to want to take this vaccine.
Well, they don't want to take any vaccine. I could give them a pill that would make them impervious to bullets below 45 caliber, and they wouldn't take it.
What's it going to do to me?
But see, these are people who want so desperately to feel special, they will look at anything with a jaundiced eye and be loud about it.
Well, I look at vaccine as the way to bring this thing to an end and get back to real life.
Absolutely.
And that's why when the vaccine is available, I will get in line to get it. I'm sorry if I'm being a sheep, ladies and gentlemen, but I want this thing to be over, and the more of us get this vaccine, the closer that's going to be to the governor dropping his controls and letting us get back and letting people go back to work, musicians get back to doing what they do, bartenders get back to doing what they do, movie theaters, my God, have you paid any attention to the effect on the film industry?
It's been big.
It's been horrible. The number of films that were released as COVID was coming out that made nothing. And then the number of films that are now, there's one major, Warner Brothers is saying what we're looking at doing now is we'll give our films a limited theatrical release, but also release them at the same time on HBO Plus or HBO Max, the streaming service.
Yeah.
So they're talking about all their releases for 2021 being released virtually at the same time on digital streaming. If you can digital stream a movie, let me ask you out there your opinion. Let's say you and the significant other go to the movies. What's it cost? $8.50 to see a movie? $8?
$8. Somewhere around there.
$8, you get a soft drink. So that's $16. You get a soft drink. That's another $5. Maybe some popcorn, another $4 or $5. You've spent, you've spent $20, $24.
Yeah.
Now you want to see the new Wonder Woman movie? You can watch it in your living room, brand new. Nobody's seen it. You pay $21.95. to buy the movie, a digital copy. You watch it in your living room, and also it's on your DVR if you ever want to watch it again. Which are you going to do?
I'm still going to go to the theater because I like going to the theater.
I like big screen. I love...
And I want to see those big things on Gal Gadot on the big screen. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, some movies just lend themselves better to that big screen, especially when they decide to do it in
Particularly when they've got nice
IMAX.
cans on the star.
IMAX 3D, incredible sound, all
Eye
that.
candy 3D, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on Gal Gadot. I could look at her all day
But
long.
you know, this thumbkin crap of stream it on your small screen. I see people, they're watching movies on this. What
I'm
the
not
hell
gonna-
is wrong with you thumbkins? What is wrong with you?
I'm not going to watch a movie on that. So, the COVID vaccine. If we can get back to watching movies, going out, going to bars, my God, what are college students doing for amusement these days? The bars aren't open.
Well, I know what I used to do after the bars closed for amusement.
But you were all primed up from having been at the bar.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, they've got internet porn. What's wrong with them?
There we go. That's what you use that little screen for.
That's the thumbkins. You know, that's what they should
Oh my
be
God,
doing.
are we going off the edge with this one? All right, we're going to talk with the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank in just a few minutes. Mike Manning will be our guest. And what can you do to help make it a good holiday season for them and the needy in the Baton Rouge area? Stick around.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
You could be driving.
Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hey, we're back. Glad to have you with us. Let's talk about a simple thing that a lot of us take for granted. Food, meals, the ability to eat, fill one's tummy, feel satisfied. It's not something that everybody gets to enjoy. And especially at the holidays, we want to make every effort we can to make sure that the need is filled for people to have good, decent nutrition and decent meals. Joining us right now in the center seat is Mike Manning of the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Mike, good to have you on the program.
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
We visit with you regularly, but not regularly enough because you provide a vital service in, what is it now, an 11 parish area?
11 parishes.
And we know that the demands on food banks all over this country because of COVID are growing, and also that the ability to get food is growing because it's gotten competitive with food banks in other areas. So what is our current situation?
Well, actually, we're in decent shape through the end of the year. What's going to happen after the first year, all bets are off. The federal feeding programs that they've done for COVID are all expiring at the end of the year. So the additional food we've gotten from those resources to help us are going to be gone, and we're going to have to be buying food to replace that because the need's still going to be here.
All the more reason for you to go into the new year with a chunk of cash.
Right, and the need's still going to be here through next year. We're not going to be able to open back up the way everybody had hoped. We're still waiting for a vaccine. Then we have to distribute it. Then everybody has to get it, and it has to take effect. So it's going to be a longer haul than everybody had hoped for the end of 2020, and that's what's scary to us.
I was in Texas last week, and the food bank that serves the greater Dallas area, they did a really good, in my opinion, appeal where their director was saying, we are in a situation now where our big donors, many of them, are now recipients because they have given all they can, they have lost their jobs, they have mouths to feed too, and this seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah, the major donors are pretty much tapped out from just the COVID funding in the early part. So there's not going to be that new amounts of money to come in. So it's going to be our neighbors, our community, who always rises up to help us when we're in need. They're going to have to do it for us, and that's the key. It's all about our community. We need to take care of our neighbors, and that's what we're here to do, and we just have a lot more neighbors in need than we have in the past.
My supermarket, which I don't need to name the name, but they frequently, when I'm checking out, they say, do you want to add an extra amount of money to your bill to go to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank? I'm curious, how much of that do you guys get? I mean, is that...
In those situations,
we
generally get all of it.
That's wonderful.
We have bag sales going on in some stores right now, and we'll either get that product or they'll give us the money to be able to get that product from their wholesaler, so we don't have to turn over the bags and pick up bags every day. So it's some streamlining that we've done to be more efficient. But it's really about people having the opportunity to give back during the holidays.
Well, I saw a video, I guess it was the pre-Thanksgiving food distribution, and I was amazed at the tremendous volume of food you all were able to distribute to these families so they could have a good family Thanksgiving dinner in place of the holiday helpers thing, which just couldn't happen on that large scale.
It was more of a drive-through operation this year.
And I was impressed with how much food you were able to put into the trunks of those cars. But then there's the day after and the day after and the day after.
That's the whole point. We're there today, but we may not be there again for 4 weeks. And what are people doing in the interim? Yes, they have food stamps and they have other resources, SNAP and other resources, traditional food stamps. But that only goes so far, and it's not as much money as people think when you start looking at going to the grocery and the way prices have gone up.
Is it still the case, because I know, pre-COVID, when all your donors were on board and you could have your events that raised money and all, is it still the case that I think a lot of people understand that you give food to needy families, you give food for school children when their school lunch programs aren't happening, but you also take over a big part of the things that other nonprofits do, like you help St. Vincent de Paul with food.
Right.
You help Holiday Helpers when they do their thing with food. You help Council on Aging with food. Are you still able to do all of that, or has that even grown?
Well, it's in many respects it's changing. because of the changing demands that those organizations are facing and the changing delivery models that they're looking at. But we had to completely change our operation from just bringing it to the pantries or letting them pick up to where we were doing the majority of the distributions. That's come back a little bit, but we're still replacing a lot of our agencies in certain areas within the 11 parishes that we're it. And that's going to be our plan going forward from the standpoint of we're going to have to be it for a lot of people because there are so many more people in need. There are a lot of people who were doing great. They had a great job at a casino or somewhere, and they're all furloughed now. Mm-hmm. They're all laid off. And the money from unemployment is not there. It may come back with this most recent bill, but right now they're struggling very hard. How are they making their payments for that car they had bought when they had that great job? Mm-hmm. It's a challenging situation, and there are just so many. Feeding America, our national organization, was indicating that they think that we're going to continue at this. They're estimating nationally we're about 60% higher than we were before COVID.
In terms of demand?
In demand.
Oh my God.
And next year we're going to be 50% lower in food supplied, especially from the federal program.
That's a huge swing.
Yeah, so it's up to us, and it's up to our community, and how do we, the things we do to help people by giving them food, prevent them from having to do other things to get the food to, how are they going to feed their family otherwise? What are they going to do? And then how does that ripple through the entire economy as people can't pay their rent, and then the landlords have to do. It's scary the true economic impact that we're going to see on this.
If something doesn't happen, and I think something will, you are going to have hundreds of thousands of evictions nationwide and probably tens of thousands in the Baton Rouge area come January 1st.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's really what do these people do if there are no jobs, and what they do, they're not available. There are no alternative replacement jobs for them to do. It's really going to be a tough challenge. And on top of that, we've got plant closings.
Yeah. If you don't mind me getting into the financing, in better times, you would sit with Kevin and I and say, hey, look, we're able to turn $1 into $10 worth of food. That's why, while we love you giving us the non-perishables, the cash is great because you could bulk buy and you could turn that 1 into 10. Now, during COVID, you had bidding wars between food banks for that food. Has that price gone up?
Not just food banks, but the market. The overall grocery market and everything, because we had to completely change from the big restaurant culture in the food industry to where it became there's no big restaurant culture, there's no big restaurant business, so everybody's going to the grocery store. And then the demand for all the retail grocery went up, causing increases in prices. We saw peanut butter go from $10 to $12 a case to $20, $21 a case, that sort of thing. And it's really supply and demand. It's economics. It's the reality.
So where you were able to, in the past, under standard operations, take advantage of overages, there are no overages.
Right. And the retail store donation programs that we had with several major stores have really ramped down because they're not bringing in as many different options. They're reducing their inventory, trying to stay on focus of getting the core staples. And same with the production side. That's what they're doing. So it's really a shift in the overall grocery industry that we're seeing, and it's it's really just-in-time inventory in many respects, because you see the empty shelves and then they're filling them up.
Congress is working on another package. Is there anything in it for organizations like yours across the nation?
We're not sure, but whatever help they can provide to the individuals who need us helps us. It helps lighten the load. We are that last line of defense. We're that basic need that everybody has to have. So it's key for us. We'd love to have some more of the programs continue to protect farmers and other things that have helped us with farm to families and those types of things. The CFAP programs that have provided food to us. But is that going to continue? Will it continue into January? What's going to happen with the new administration? And just the change of administrations is going to slow things down from that perspective.
When we come back from this break that's going to happen in about a minute here, I want to talk about our 9 parish areas specifically, gains and losses, and what we all can do individually, and try to get us through at least the middle of January. But we also need to look at those of us that used to give $100 a year, can we scrape our way to giving $120? Because I'm figuring you're operating at least a 20% larger margin than you did when times were good.
Well, just covering all the PPE, covering the additional costs. We've done some additional compensation for our employees because they're taking a risk by going out to distribute food. So those are some additional costs we're facing, and it's just a challenge. And we're going to figure out the way, and the communities can help us figure out the way to get through it.
We will be back with Mike Manning from the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and of course that's the official name, but they do serve 11 parishes in this area. Stick around, we'll have more for you in a moment on Exiles TV.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Exiles TV returns. Bill Profit over there. I'm Kevin Gallagher, and in the center seat, Michael Manning. He directs the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Don't let the name fool you, as Bill said. This is 11 parishes of people's food needs served by this fine organization. The one thing that I was going to ask you about is manpower. This is a big hands-on job to coordinate all that food, bring it in, distribute it out, make sure people get it. How are you with labor these days?
Our team's intact. They're amazing. Just to be able to do what they've done through this whole thing, through these 9 months now, and how many more months we're going to have to go. It's just been phenomenal. Their attitude, their effort. We've had the Louisiana National Guard as a force multiplier for us to help with distribution.
Nice.
And that's continuing through March. So, people-wise, we're okay. And from a volunteer perspective, we've been able to do some things in our facility to spread volunteers out so we can take volunteers back. We started bringing them back, and now we're back to good levels where even some companies are allowing their staff to come in and volunteer with us. So it's really a great opportunity for people to make a difference for a neighbor.
You have a lot of overhead when you are bringing food to, one of the parishes outside of East Baton Rouge. You got people, you got vehicles, and I'm thinking you're not, driving around in Priuses. I'm thinking you got some good-sized trucks that chew up a lot of diesel, and the price of that has gone up.
We've got 2 tractors and trailers. We've got 26-foot box trucks on the road all day, every day. We had to, because of what we were seeing in the product we were having to bring in, we had to build a new cooler. So we've more than doubled our cooler space. And the cooler we originally built when we moved into the facility, we built the floor and everything to freezer spec. So we converted that to freezer. So we've essentially doubled our cooler and our freezer space to meet the increased amount of food we're needing to bring in for the increased demand.
Your story has been one over recent years of, like being Marines, you have to adapt, improvise, overcome. You had that wonderful new facility as it was going up. You had people steal all your copper.
Yeah.
That was a huge setback. And then, of course, the flood was a tremendous setback. We were talking about the flood during the break. And Bill said, which is worse, this or the flood? Your answer?
This. Flood was short. This is long. The flood, we were out of our facility. We were back within 4 weeks, and we were at 70% of our operating capacity within 4 days of the flood. So when you start looking at this and you staying at these levels for this amount of time, and the wear and tear on your staff, your equipment, just everyone, just the stress of it all, and so many more people in need, and having to try to do so much more for so many. It's really a challenge, and it's very wearing. A lot of emotion on our team, a lot of stress.
The uncertainty of this has got to be difficult. When you saw 3 HVAC units go underwater, you knew exactly what you needed to replace, and you knew exactly what it was going to cost. You don't know if tomorrow, 2,000 more people are going to come to your door and get on your list, and you need people to do that as well as the food to do it. You just don't know.
It's like people ask me, well, what was the first thing you did when you walked up and saw the flood? I said, I called my general contractor. Because I knew he would be the one to have equipment men, be able to get all the things I needed to be able to start the cleanup and come back. The question for us now is, who do we call? It's not like it's the whole thing. There's no Ghostbusters out there to solve this problem. So it's really going to be up to us and our community to get through it together.
Are you anticipating any big food drives? I know the St. George Fire Department with their Christmas parade, they normally have trucks that go after the fire trucks.
Well, they did Santa Claus parade in my neighborhood last weekend.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But are there going to be any food drives, or do we really need to all kind of knuckle down and give you a credit card and say, take $5 a month or $10 a month?
I mean, that's the easiest way to do it, is just go online and you can keep the rewards points. We won't ask you for those, but if you want to offer those, we'll take them too.
You won't miss it,
But the other thing is, we have the red Coca-Cola bags around in the associated food stores. Some other stores have their own brown bag efforts. But the easiest thing to do is you can just go online and you can make a donation in honor of someone, give it as a Christmas present. We can even help you with cards to send out to people saying, in your honor, I've made a donation to the food bank.
Got one of those yesterday from Helen Graff.
We want to make it as easy as possible for you to help us, because we need your help. And that's the best way to get people to help you, is make it easy and appreciate that they're helping you. Appreciate what they're doing for their community.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I want to, while we still have you here, I want to give people perspective. And so I'm going to ask you, what's a worst case scenario? What programs might have to be cut if we don't all pull on the rope a little harder?
Well, hopefully not cut, maybe reduced. We may not be able to do as many distributions as we're doing. We may not be able to give as much food as we've been able to give to tide people over till the next time they need it. But that's really the challenge is, cutting versus reducing versus adjusting. How can we raise enough money to just keep going at this pace?
But you know,
how long can we keep going at
all
this
these
rate?
adjusting or pivoting or reducing is still cutting somebody out of a meal somewhere.
Right, and that's our goal is to not do that.
Yeah.
And the big concern for us is how many more layoffs are going to come, what else is going to happen, when that shoe drops with the plant closure, what's that going to mean for the rest of the community? What's the need going to be? So it's really a lot of uncertainty, and we always look at it like it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to make a difference in somebody's life. We don't take it as a challenge. We look at it as try to be as positive as we can, and we learn from being able to adapt. We have all this hurricane experience. We have all this flood experience. We can come back. We can adjust to discomfort, and there are lots of special ops trainings about deliberate discomfort. They put you in deliberate discomfort so you know how to act when you're in discomfort. Well, we're in discomfort, and we've got the experience. We've got the team that can do it. We just need the community to continue to help us do it.
We live in an area where, with COVID going on especially, we've got a lot of people who are living very close, hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck, month to month. But also in East Baton Rouge Parish and the surrounding area, we're also blessed to have a great number of people that have not been impacted by this COVID virus that dramatically. They've been able to work from home. Their salary continues to roll in, and those are the people I would say, look at your budget. If you've got considerable amount of money left over at the end of the budget, in other words, you've got the spending cash, consider going to the website. It's on the bottom of the screen right now, to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and just plop down your credit card or your ATM debit card information and let them hit you for a little something once a month. Whatever's in your budget, whatever you can afford, whatever you could, let's say you could say goodbye to a 20 every month, and it would not impact your household budget one bit. Well, it would certainly be a great impact for people who benefit.
It would make a big impact at the food bank.
From the food bank, yeah.
Again, perspective. People ask me, whenever we have you on, or Micah Caldo from St. Vincent de Paul, or United Way, they always say, well, Bill, I'd love to do something, but I can't give in the same league as all these others. I'll bet you if I ask you what your average individual donation is, it will shock people.
Yeah, it generally is $25. That's the big ones and the small ones put together. And we thank everybody. We don't care, there but the grace of God. Somebody sends us $1, sends us $5. That may be the largest percentage of their budget compared to somebody who sends us $1,000. So we appreciate everybody's willingness to help.
Well, and again, with the I forget the name for this, but where you can leave a credit or a debit card, and it is secure, and you can say, take $5 a month or $10 a month for the next 12 months, and then I'll let you know if I want to continue or if I want to raise it. That is just so easy. If 500 of you do $500 a month, that's going to make a big dent in his problem, which is our community's problem.
Yeah, and it's that simple. It really is. People giving $5, $10, $15, $20 a month. It adds up. It's those simple things, those simple gifts that we
what
truly
they used
appreciate.
to do at Children's Miracle Network, and Karen used to love this. I think it was her idea, but it was 12 for 12. Give $12 a month for 12 months. Comes right off your credit or debit card, and people just loved to do that. It made them feel like they were really doing something substantial, and they were.
Yeah, and it builds into a substantial amount. It may seem like it may just seem like a couple of coffees at CC's or Starbucks.
Yeah, it's a pittance for an individual, but when you start adding those individuals up, boom, you've got some real, pretty soon you're talking about some real money here.
That's right.
As someone, it's been a long time, it's been decades for me, but I know hunger. I remember hunger. I remember times that were so tough when I struck out on my own that, I might have 3 hot meals a week, and there was no food bank to help me out. I just had to make do. So it's something I feel very strongly about. And if you've known hunger in your lifetime, you want to do whatever you can to help.
Well, and look at your friends and your neighbors and look at their kids, because a lot of them, if they were making, they were a 2-income family and they were making $250K together, and March 15th that stopped for both of them, chances are, look at them. You can tell if they're skipping meals. Just like you can tell if they're skipping medications. Look at their kids. And that's who you're probably going to be helping somebody in your neighborhood along with helping the greater good. Trust me on this one. Trust me. So again, it is on your screen. You can donate cash. You can write a check. You can do a monthly giving type of thing. And Mike, we're going to have you back on before Christmas to see how we're all doing. But we, all of us, are asking you from the bottom of your hearts, from our hearts, give a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with the food bank. Yep. They can turn that dollar into 3 meals still. So please. Mike, thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me.
Good seeing you,
to be
Mike.
with you.
We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment on Exiles TV.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Days sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Welcome back. It's Exiles TV. Bill over there, Kevin here. You know, Bill, one of my favorite movies ever made of all time is Philip Kaufman's The Right Stuff. And even though it really is the story of the Mercury 7, one of the main characters in the earlier part of the film is Sam Shepard so wonderfully playing the role of Chuck Yeager.
Well, and Chuck Yeager was the man that Tom Wolfe said in the book that everybody said had the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was, as he put it, from so far up in the holler in West Virginia that they had to pipe sunshine into him.
Mm-hmm.
He enlisted in World War II as a private and managed to qualify for flight school after training as a flight mechanic in the Army Air Corps and became a fighter ace in World War II. Now, you have to shoot down 5 enemy aircraft to be an ace.
5 documented kills.
Yes.
Confirmed.
He shot down 5 in one day once. I think he had about 30 kills. But he really became America's greatest test pilot. And he was inspirational to everybody who punched holes in the sky, as he used to put it. He died last night at the age of 97. He ascended, by the way, all the way through the ranks to the rank of Brigadier General. And he actually saw combat in the Vietnam War. The last time he broke the sound barrier was just for fun in 2003 when he climbed into an F-15 Strike Eagle and flew Mach 1.7 just because he still could.
But let's not forget that he was the first man to break the sound barrier in the Bell X-1.
Did you know that they classified that for about 16 weeks? They were worried that they could tell anybody that he had broken the sound barrier, and then finally people all over the area where he boomed through the sky started talking about it and guessing. And at that time, it was the United States Air Force allowed him to talk about it, and he said, well, once you get past it, the ride is as smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yep. The thing was about the sound barrier is that there were people who, right up until it was broken, theorized that it couldn't be. And science didn't know exactly what would happen to an aircraft or its pilot if you broke the sound barrier and flew faster. What is it, 743 miles per hour? Is that it?
Where they were geographically, yeah.
It has to do with also your elevation.
Yeah, your elevation. Here, they did it over the high desert, so it's a little more. If you do, you sometimes hear Air National Guard people and all that accidentally break the sound barrier over Baton Rouge because it's only about 651 here.
Because the elevation here average is about 66 feet.
Yeah.
On the average. But Chuck Yeager, amazing. And the whole point of Tom Wolfe's book and Philip Kaufman's movie is, though, he paved the way for the astronauts of the space program. And he had the right stuff. He didn't get to be an astronaut because he wasn't, because of politics, because he wasn't the kind of guy that would represent that real American hero. He wasn't a John Glenn type.
He also had not a college degree.
No college degree, no wife.
But he did not want to be an astronaut. As he put it, he said, I admire what they're doing, but they're not really pilots. They're just spamming a can, flipping switches when the guys on the ground tell them to. And for the first several space flights, he was absolutely correct. They were not flying the aircraft.
No, they insisted in the later Mercury missions, and then Gemini, what it came before it, that there be manual controls in the spacecraft so that the astronaut could pilot the craft if needs be. And that they agreed to that mostly because what if there's an emergency and I need to pilot the craft? Oh, well, maybe you're right. Maybe we should give you some control.
But this guy, you want to talk about the right stuff. He was shot down over France in 1944. He and another pilot that was shot down were helped out of the country by the French resistance. They had to walk across the Pyrenees Mountains. They found an abandoned hunting cabin, and the guy he was with hung his socks out because they were soaking wet, hung them outside. That tipped off the Germans. A gunfight followed. The fellow he was with took one in the knee. Yeager realized that he had to carry him out, but that the knee was going to be gangrenous soon, so he amputated this guy's leg. They made it back to England. He said, I want to go back to fly, and they said, you can't, because if you're shot down and getting captured, you might tell them about the resistance people that helped you out, and that would put them in danger. And he used a word for what falls out of the south end of a northbound male bovine, and finally lobbied. They sent him back. He shot down about 9 more Messerschmitts, and he was personally selected for test pilot school. about his 20th mission in the latest generation high-speed aircraft. He had a fire in his cockpit. He had to eject. He was burned over 40% of his body and had 9 surgeries and said, "When can I get back and fly?" This guy was really something else. And you knew he had to go sometime. He made it to 97.
97.
He should have been dead about 97 times before that, by the way.
Bible says 70 years and 10 is all we get to expect out of life.
Yeah. So, General Yeager, let me tell you what. You always did us proud. And for those of you who have not read the book or seen the movie The Right Stuff, I suggest that you do so.
Yeah, it's a great read. It's a long movie.
Yeah, very long.
But what a cast. What an incredible cast. And everybody is so well cast, especially, as I said, Sam Shepard playing the role of Chuck Yeager. So God rest him, and we thank him for his many contributions to American freedom.
That
so we got on the
brings us,
program tomorrow. We got
tomorrow. Let's see. We have on
have
tomorrow.
to check our busy schedule.
I have to check my schedule here. Don't go away. We will be right back tomorrow. Johnny Two Guns, former Deputy Chief Johnny Dunham with Crime Stoppers, will join us. We got some miscreants that are preying on the holiday season. Hopefully you all will help us find them. Until that time, Clarence Bugg's coming up in about 6 or 7 minutes. And I want you to go out, have fun, be safe. And if you haven't started your Christmas shopping, it's getting a little crowded out there. It really is.
Take care, and until tomorrow, God bless.
Bye-bye.